Hi, welcome to my channel Online Biology Tutorials. Biology does not only create life, it protects it, guides it, and safeguards it. Type safety if awareness matters. Let's begin with the reading of Chapter 3 Reproductive Health, Class 12th NCERT. You have learned about human reproductive system and its functions in chapter 2. Now let's discuss a closely related topic, reproductive health. What do we understand by this term? The term simply refers to healthy reproductive organs with normal functions. However, it has a broader perspective and includes the emotional and social aspects of reproduction also. According to the World Health Organization WHO, reproductive health means a total well being in all aspects of reproduction, that is, physical, emotional, behavioral, and social. Therefore, a society with people having physically and functionally normal reproductive organs and normal emotional and behavioral interactions amongst them in all sex related aspects might be called reproductively healthy. Why is it significant to maintain reproductive health and what are the methods taken up to achieve it? Let us examine them. 3.1 Reproductive Health Problems and Strategies. India was amongst the first countries in the world to initiate action plans and programs at a national level to attain total reproductive health as a social goal. These programs, called family planning, were initiated in 1951 and were periodically assessed over the past decades. Improved programs covering wider reproduction related areas are currently in operation under the popular name Reproductive and Child Health Care (RCH) programs. Creating awareness among people about various reproduction related aspects and providing facilities and support for building up a reproductively healthy society are the major tasks under these programs. With the help of audio, visual, and print media, governmental and non governmental agencies have taken various steps to create awareness among the people about reproduction related aspects. Parents and other close relatives, teachers, and friends also have a major role in the dissemination of the above information. Introduction of sex education in schools should also be encouraged to provide right information to the young so as to discourage children from believing in myths and having misconceptions about sex related aspects. Proper information about reproductive organs, adolescence, and related changes, safe and hygienic sexual practices. Sexually transmitted diseases, STD, AIDS, etc., would help people, especially those in the adolescent age groups, to lead a reproductively healthy life. Educating people, especially fertile couples and those in marriageable age group, about available birth control options, care of pregnant mothers, postnatal care of the mother and child, importance of breastfeeding, equal opportunities for the male and the female child, etc., would address the importance of bringing up socially conscious, healthy families of desired size. Awareness of problems due to uncontrolled population growth, social evils like sex abuse and sex related crimes, etc., need to be created to enable people to think and take up necessary steps to prevent them and thereby build up a socially responsible and healthy society. Successful implementation of various action plans to attain reproductive health required strong infrastructural facilities, professional expertise, and material support. These are essential to provide medical assistance and care to people in reproduction related problems like pregnancy, delivery, STDs, abortions, contraception, menstrual problems, infertility, etc. Implementation of better techniques and new strategies from time to time are also required to provide more efficient care and assistance to people. Statutory ban on amniocentesis for sex determination to legally check increasing menace of female feticides, massive child immunization, etc., are some more programs that merit mention in this connection. In amniocentesis, some of the amniotic fluid of the developing fetus is taken to analyze the fetal cells and dissolved substances. This procedure is also used to test the presence of certain genetic disorders such as Down syndrome, hemophilia, sickle cell anemia, etc. Determine the survivability of the fetus. Research on various reproduction related areas are encouraged and supported by governmental and non governmental agencies or NGOs to find out new methods and or to improve upon the existing ones. Do you know that Saheli, a new oral contraceptive for the females, was developed by scientists at Central Drug Research Institute CDRI in Lucknow, India? Better awareness about sex related matters, increased number of medically assisted deliveries, and better postnatal care leading to decreased maternal and infant mortality rates, increased number of couples with small families, better detection and cure of STDs, and overall increased medical facilities for all sex related problems, etc., all indicate improved reproductive health of the society. So, till now, whatever paragraphs I have read for you, you can write 3 keywords that you have imbibed from overall these paragraphs. Come on, quickly write it down. Then we will progress to the next title, that is 3.2, Population Stabilization and Birth Control. In the last century, on all-round development in various fields significantly improved the quality of life of the people. However, increased health facilities along with better living conditions had an explosive impact on the growth of the population. The world population, which was around 2 billion, 2000 million, in 1900 rocketed to about 6 billion by 2000 and 7.2 billion in 2011. A similar trend was observed in India too. Our population, which was approximately 350 million at the time of our independence, reached close to the billion mark by 2000 and crossed 1.2 billion in May 2011. A rapid decline in death rate, maternal mortality rate or MMR, infant mortality or IMR, as well as an increase in the number of people in reproducible age are probable reasons for this. Through our Reproductive Child Health RCH program, though we could bring down the population growth rate, it was only marginal. According to the 2011 census report, the population growth rate was less than 2%, that is 20 per thousand per year, a rate at which our population could increase rapidly. Such an alarming growth rate could lead to an absolute scarcity of even the basic requirements, that is, food, shelter, and clothing. In spite of significant progress made in those areas, therefore, the government was forced to take up serious measures to check this population growth rate. The most important step to overcome this problem is to motivate smaller families by using various contraceptive methods. You might have seen advertisements in the media as well as posters, bills, etc., showing a happy couple with two children with the slogan Hum do, Hamare do, we too, are too. Many couples, mostly the young, urban, working ones, have even adopted an one child norm. Statutory raising of marriageable age of the female to 18 years and that of male to 21 years and incentives given to couples with small families are two of the other measures taken to tackle this problem. Let us describe some of the commonly used contraceptive methods which help prevent unwanted pregnancies. An ideal contraceptive should be user friendly, easily available, effective, and reversible with no or least side effects. It also should in no way interfere with the sexual drive, desire, and or the sexual act of the user. A wide range of contraceptive methods are presently available, which could be broadly grouped into the following categories, namely natural, traditional, barrier, IUDs, oral contraceptive, injectables, implants, and surgical methods. Natural methods work on the principle of avoiding chances of ovum and sperms meeting. Periodic abstinence is one of such method in which the couple avoid or abstain from coitus from day 10 to 17 of the menstrual cycle when ovulation could be expected. As chances of fertilization are very high during this period, it is called the fertile period. Therefore, by abstaining from coitus during this period, conception could be prevented. Withdrawal or coitus interruptus is another method in which the male partner withdraws his penis from the vagina just before ejaculation so as to avoid insemination. Lactational amenorrhea, absence of menstruation method, is based on the fact that ovulation and therefore the cycle do not occur during this period of intense lactation following parturition. Therefore, as long as the mother breastfeeds the baby fully, chances of conception are almost nil. However, this method has been reported to be effective only up to maximum period of 6 months following parturition. As no medicines or devices are used in these methods, side effects are almost nil. Chances of failure, though, of this method are also high. In barrier methods, ovum and sperms are prevented from physically meeting with the help of barriers. Such methods are available for both males and females. Condoms, a barrier method made of thin rubber latex sheath that are used to cover the penis in the male or vagina and cervix in the female just before coitus so that the ejaculated semen would not enter into the female reproductive tract. This can prevent conception. Nirod, a popular brand of condom for the male. Use of condoms has increased in recent years due to additional benefit of protecting the user from contracting STIs and AIDS. Both the male and female condoms are disposable, can be self-inserted and thereby gives privacy to the user. Diaphragms, cervical caps, and vaults are also barriers made of rubber that are inserted into the female reproductive tract to cover the cervix during the coitus. They prevent conception by blocking the entry of sperms through the cervix. They are reusable. Spermicidal creams, jellies, and foams are usually used along with these barriers to increase their contraceptive efficiency. Another effective and popular method is the use of intrauterine devices or IUDs. These devices are inserted by the doctors or expert nurses in the uterus through vagina. These intrauterine devices are presently available as the non-medicated IUDs, example Lipi's loop. Copper releasing IUDs, example copper T, copper 7, multi-load 375, and the hormone releasing IUDs like Progest Assert LNG20. IUDs increase phagocytosis of sperms within the uterus, and the copper ions release suppress sperm motility and fertilizing capacity of the sperms. The hormone releasing IUDs in addition make the uterus unsuitable for implantation and the cervix hostile to the sperms. IUDs are ideal contraceptives for the females who want to delay pregnancy and or space children. It is one of the most widely accepted method of contraceptive in India. Oral administration of small doses of either progestogens or progestogen estrogen combination is another contraceptive method used by the females. They are used in the form of tablets and hence are popularly called the pills. Pills have to be taken daily for a period of 21 days, starting preferably within the first 5 days of the menstrual cycle. After a gap of 7 days during which menstrual cycle occurs, it has to be repeated in the same pattern till the female desires to prevent conception. They inhibit ovulation and implantation as well as alter the quality of cervical mucus to prevent retard entry of sperms. Pills are very effective with lesser side effects and are well accepted by the females. Saheli, the new oral contraceptive for the females, contains non-steroidal preparation. It is once a week pill with a very few side effects and high contraceptive value. Progestins alone or in combination with estrogen can also be used by females as injections or implants under the skin. Their mode of action is similar to that of the pills and their effective periods are much longer. Administrations of progestogens or progestogen estrogen combination or IUDs within 72 hours of coitus have been found to be very effective as emergency contraceptives, as they could be used to avoid possible pregnancy due to rape or casual unprotected intercourse. Surgical methods, also called sterilization, are generally advised for the male-female partner as a terminal method to prevent any more pregnancies. Surgical intervention blocks gamete transport and thereby prevent conception. Sterilization procedure in the male is called vasectomy and that in the female tubectomy. In vasectomy, a small part of the vas deferens is removed or tied up through a small incision on the scrotum, whereas in tubectomy, a small portion of the fallopian tube is removed or tied up through a small incision in the abdomen or through vagina. These techniques are highly effective, but their reversibility is very poor. It needs to be emphasized that the selection of the suitable contraceptive method and its use should always be undertaken in consultation with qualified medical professionals. One must also remember that contraceptives are not regular requirements for the maintenance of reproductive health. In fact, they are practiced against the natural reproductive event, that is, conception or pregnancy. One is forced to use these methods either to prevent pregnancy or to delay or space pregnancy due to personal reasons. No doubt, the widespread use of these methods have a significant role in checking uncontrolled growth of population. However, there are possible ill effects like nausea, abdominal pain, breakthrough bleeding, irregular menstrual bleeding, or even breast cancer, though not very significant, should not be totally ignored. So we are done with the types of contraceptives. It will be very easy and will help you in revising in case you'll write 5 keywords learned so far in the chat of this video. Go ahead. Brown Clue Gaming. Good evening. May I know your name? From where are you watching this live? The left portion given on this page is also very important. The Medical Termination of Pregnancy Amendment Act in 2017 was enacted by the Government of India with the intention of reducing the incidence of illegal abortion and consequent maternal mortality and morbidity. According to this act, a pregnancy may be terminated on certain considered grounds within the first 12 weeks of pregnancy on the opinion of one registered medical practitioner. If the pregnancy has lasted more than 12 weeks but fewer than 24 weeks, two registered medical practitioners must be of the same opinion, formed in a good faith that the required ground exists. The grounds for such termination of pregnancies are: the continuation of the pregnancy would involve a risk to the life of the pregnant woman or of grave injury, physical or mental health, or there is a substantial risk that a child will be born. It would suffer from such physical or mental abnormalities as to be seriously handicapped. 3.3 Medical Termination of Pregnancy or MTP. Intentional or voluntary termination of pregnancy before full term is called medical termination of pregnancy or MTP or induced abortion. Nearly 45 to 50 million MTPs are performed in a year all over the world, which accounts to one-fifth of the total number of conceived pregnancy in a year. Whether to accept or legalize MTP or not is being debated upon in many countries due to emotional, ethical, religious and social issues involved in it. Government of India legalized MTP in 1971 with some strict conditions to avoid its misuse. Such restrictions are all the more important to check indiscriminate and illegal female feticide, which are reported to be high in India. Why MTP? Obviously, the answer is to get rid of unwanted pregnancy, either due to casual unprotected intercourse or failure of the contraceptive used during coitus or rapes. MTPs are also essential in certain cases where continuation of the pregnancy could be harmful or even fatal either to the mother or to the fetus or to both. MTPs are considered relatively safe during the first trimester, that is up to 12 weeks of pregnancy. Second trimester abortions are much more riskier. One disturbing trend observed that a majority of the MTPs are performed illegally by unqualified quacks, which are not unsafe but could be fatal too. Another dangerous trend is the misuse of amniocentesis to determine the sex of the unborn child. Frequently, if the fetus is found to be female, it is followed by MTP. That is totally against what is legal. Such practices should be avoided because these are dangerous both for the young mother and the fetus. Effective counseling on the need to avoid unprotected coitus and the risk factors involved in illegal abortions, as well as providing more health care facilities, could reverse the mentioned unhealthy trend. Now we are moving to the next topic, 3.4 Sexually Transmitted Infections or STIs. You might have read this topic earlier with the name of STDs. Infections or diseases which are transmitted through sexual intercourse are collectively called sexually transmitted infections, STI, or venereal diseases or VD, or reproductive tract infections, RTI. Gonorrhea, syphilis, genital herpes, chlamydiasis, genital warts, trichomoniasis, hepatitis B, and of course, the most discussed infection in the recent years, HIV leading to AIDS, are some of the common STIs. Among these, HIV infection is most dangerous and is discussed in detail in Chapter 7. Some of these infections, like hepatitis B and HIV, can also be transmitted by sharing of injection needles, surgical instruments, etc., with infected persons, transfusion of blood, or from an infected mother to the fetus, too. Except for hepatitis B, genital herpes, and HIV infection, other diseases are completely curable if detected early and treated properly. Early symptoms of most of these are minor and include itching, fluid discharge, slight pain, swellings, etc. in the genital region. Infected females may often be asymptomatic and hence may remain undetected for long. Absence or less significant symptoms in the early stages of infection and the social stigma attached to the STIs deter the infected persons from going for full for timely detection and proper treatment. This could lead to the complications later, which include pelvic inflammatory diseases, PID, abortion, stillbirths, ectopic pregnancy, infertility, or even cancer of the reproductive tract. STIs are major threat to a healthy society, therefore prevention of early detection and cure of the diseases are given prime consideration under the reproductive health care programs. Though all persons are vulnerable to these infections, their incidences are reported to be very high among people in the age group of 15 to 24 years, the age group to which you also belong. There is no reason to panic because prevention is possible. One could be free of these infections by following the simple principles given below. Avoid sex with unknown partners or multiple partners. Always try to use condoms during coitus. In case of doubt, one should go to a qualified doctor for early detection and get complete treatment if diagnosed with the infection. 3.5 Infertility. A discussion on reproductive health is incomplete without a mention of infertility. A large number of couples all over the world, including India, are infertile. That is, they are unable to produce children in spite of unprotected sexual cohabitation. The reasons for this could be many: physical, congenital diseases, drugs, immunological, or even psychological. In India, often the female is blamed for the couple being childless, but more often than not, the problem lies in the male partner. Specialized healthcare units, infertility clinics, etc., could help in diagnosis and corrective treatment of some of these disorders and enable these couples to have children. However, where such corrections are not possible, the couple should be assisted to have children through certain special techniques commonly known as assisted reproductive technologies or ARTs. In vitro fertilization, IVF, fertilization outside the body in almost similar conditions as that in the body, followed by embryo transfer ET, is one of such methods. In this method, popularly known as test tube baby program, ova from the female donor female and sperms from the husband donor male are collected and are induced to form zygote under simulated conditions in the laboratory. The zygote or early embryos with up to 8 blastomeres could then be transferred into the fallopian tube. ZIFT, zygote intrafallopian transfer, and embryos with more than 8 blastomeres into the uterus, IUT, intrauterine transfer to complete its further development. Embryos formed by in vivo fertilization, fusion of gametes within the female, also could be used for such transfer to assist those females who cannot conceive. Transfer of an ovum collected from a donor into the fallopian tube, GIFT, or gamete intrafallopian transfer of another female who cannot produce one, but can provide suitable environment for fertilization and further development is another method attempted. Intracytoplasmic spermic injection or ICSI is another specialized procedure to form an embryo in the laboratory in which a sperm is directly injected into the ovum. Infertility cases either due to inability of the male partner to inseminate the female due to very low sperm counts in the ejaculates could be corrected by artificial insemination or AI technique. In this technique, the semen collected either from the husband or from a healthy donor is artificially introduced either into the vagina or into the uterus, which is known as IUI or intrauterine insemination of the female. Though options are many, all these techniques require extremely high precision handling by specialized professionals and expensive instrumentation. Therefore, these facilities are presently available only in very few centers in the country. Obviously, their benefits is affordable to only a limited number of people. Emotional, religious, and social factors are also deterrents in the adoption of these methods. Since the ultimate aim of all these procedures is to have a children, in India we have so many orphan and destitute children, we would probably not survive till maturity unless take care of. Our laws permit legal adoption and it is as yet one of the best methods for couples looking for parenthood. So with this we are done with the reading of chapter 3, reproductive health. I hope this chapter was already understood to you and with the help of reading you had a better revision. So you strengthened your understanding. In case it was helpful, do hit the like button and share it with your friends. We'll be back with another video tomorrow. Stay connected and do consider subscribing to have recent